Third phase of Goode. Third.
Welcome back. Blake Cousins here, Third Phase of Moon, with a special guest. You may have heard of him. He's behind the documentaries Above Majestic and The Cosmic Secret. Now Corey Goode's been going through a bunch of things as of lately. We're going to be going over them right here at Third Phase of Moon. Let's just get to it. Corey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Blake. Appreciate the invitation.
You know, absolutely. We haven't seen you in the limelight for a little while. I know you've been going through some situations legally. Let's just cut straight to the point. What's going on with Vice and some of the things that you've been dealing with?
Well, what it boils down to is control over disclosure. And there are a number of groups that are trying to control disclosure, control the narrative. They want the TSA slow drip disclosure, and we've been fighting for full disclosure. So we have, a concerted effort to discredit us, and we've had the media involved, we've had all types of cyber stalkers involved, and finally to a point to where there's a major criminal investigation and also a RICO lawsuit. And I won't go into the details. This is not the proper venue. If anyone wants to look into it, they can just look up my name and RICO lawsuit.
It's interesting. Some of the situations we've been dealing with right here at Third Phase of Moon has been very difficult. We're dealing with challenges as well, getting the information out and people trying to shut the information down. We've won a couple battles just recently. We're going to get into some more details a little bit later in other episodes in regards to that. But yeah, we've seen an uptick in kind of taking down the information coming in, but I gotta say, we've got a lot of response when we said that we're gonna have you on the show, Corey, and some of them not too friendly. Why do you guys get so much flack? David Wilcock, Corey Goode, we shouldn't have them on Third Phase of Moon. Why are we giving these guys airtime? What's your thoughts? What's your response to that?
Well, it's actually a noisy minority. There's a group that's being investigated, actually, that they have all sorts of sock puppet accounts, and they've targeted David and I, anyone that works with me. So if you work with me more than one time, then these people target you. Like I said, it's all being investigated. At the end of the criminal suits, we expect arrests. This is pretty serious. When all of this is said and done, everyone's going to know the truth. And they're going to know it was just a small, noisy minority. The vast majority of the people in the community support David and I, as well as, you wouldn't believe all the people that are reaching out to work with me in particular. And usually when you're in the middle of a racketeering lawsuit against someone and have other lawsuits out and you've instigated criminal lawsuits against people, people want to stay away from you. They don't want to do business with you, but it's been quite the opposite. We've had people approaching us like crazy. Our online course at acceleratingascension.com, is doing well because of the community. So we still have a lot of support. This is just this is an actual operation to bring down David and I, or anyone who's talking about the wider secret space program or the crimes that have been committed against humanity, to keep these secrets quiet over the decades. So the powers that be have a vested interest in having people like David Wilcock and myself discredited. If they were to just kill us, that would make people more curious about what we had to say and our information, and conspiracy groups would go nuts. The tactic has always been to discredit.
Well, I think you pretty much stated right, due to the fact that once we released this interview on Third Phase of Moon, all the people that said we shouldn't have Corey on the show, they're going to be the first ones wanting to watch the show and leave some negative comments below. But that is the nature in this field. A lot of skeptics out there, especially when there's really no evidence, but one's knowledge, their words, and their experience that they're being shared to the public. And that's one of the reasons why people have a conflict of trusting you guys, because there's really no evidence. And then there is certain things that you state, that you bring forward, that kind of reveal that you kind of were knowing things due to the fact that you were inside the Secret Space Force program.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've talked about a number of things years before they even popped up in the news. Even this, mini nova thing that the sun does, all of the different information about building out bases inside lava tubes on the moon and Mars. It just goes on and on and on. I was trusted enough to be handed 2 DIA reference documents that a lot of people were scratching their heads. How did Corey get his hands on this? If he's this total joke, why would DC Beltway insiders give him such interesting documents to release? And I was told to release them at a certain time, and it was just weeks before TTSA and other people started coming out, and before the UFO incident that was captured by a Navy pilot was put on the news. And that was a part of this program that I disclosed through this document release. So there's plenty of evidence. I don't have pictures of aliens and all of that, which is what everyone wants. But there's plenty of corroborating evidence and testimony that bolsters my testimony, and it went viral. Everyone wanted to hear it, and that's one of the reasons they had to stomp on us and our narrative, because we want humanity to know all of the truth about what's been going on, full disclosure. And the people in the military and government, some of them altruistically really believe that we can't handle the full truth, that it would be irresponsible to drop the full truth on us at our current state, that we would just how we've reacted to current quarantine things. It's just, humanity, they just don't think we're going to respond very well, and they think that it would cause chaos.
Some people might say that, Corey, why isn't the government going after you like they would want to go after Edward Snowden? Snowden had to leave this country, seek asylum in Russia. He's a wanted man. He's got the information that he released to the public that they didn't want out, but he was able to do so. Now that you're releasing all this information throughout the years, why aren't you on the run in the way that Snowden had to go?
That's because I do have a level of protection. I am friendly with what we're calling the Alliance. The Alliance, like the Q operation, that's a big controversial thing, but whatever people happen to think of the information come out of it, it is an operation, an Alliance operation. And the Alliance is a lot of people from other countries, but also, the God-fearing, constitutional-loving military types that a lot of them are retired, that saw what was going on, who was running the United States and the planet, and they formed an alliance with all of these people, and they've been working since the 1960s to try to bring the downfall of the cabal, and they've been unsuccessful thus far, but things have turned, things have pivoted. The powers that be, they can't just order us, a strike force on a noisy, annoying problem like they used to. They don't have all the assets to bring to bear. Right now, the cabal is on the run. They are fighting tooth and toenail just to survive.
There's definitely something going on, especially after what we've all gone through around the world over the past few months. There is seeming to be some kind of escalation in information that's trying to get out to the people. Even at the top, they've been revealing the new Space Force technology in regards to the super duper missile moving 17 times faster than what we've had in our previous assets. Do you think it is coming to a pinnacle point in regards to the information trying to get out, that they're having a harder time to keep it hidden?
Well, it is coming to a pinnacle. They've had at least 5 different levels of secret space program going on for many decades. That's what I was a part of. Now, what they're doing is they're releasing it in stages, and the partial drip disclosure is the military-industrial complex taking all of their space programs, aggregating them and that technology under Space Force, that single moniker, so that they can now start disclosing these technologies and abilities. And these technologies in the beginning, we're going to start seeing like triangle craft that have gravity canceling technology that allows them to cancel gravity, but in the beginning we'll only be shown the ones that have conventional propulsion, jet propulsion, to make them scoot across the magnetic field they're riding on. So, and then they'll start expanding out and let us know more and more about the infrastructure that we already have out there. We already have a massive infrastructure out there, and certain space parts of the space program only know about a certain amount of the infrastructure out there. If we have someone from the secret NASA, the NASA has its own secret group that flies around in space doing things. If they happen to see one of just the next level above, military-wise, technology-wise, craft flying through their vicinity while they're in space, and they call in and say, hey, I've got a bogey, what the heck is this? And they will say, oh, never mind, ignore this. This is concept technology. You'll be flying one of these in 3 to 5 years. Keep it quiet. And then they keep it quiet. That happens within the programs. And I mean, we have technology that is just light years beyond even what we're going to be shown in Space Force.
Yeah, and you would assume that would be a practical strategy by the military to have technology kept secret from the people due to the fact and nature that you want to keep secrets from your enemy if you're going to go and go up against them and use these tactical weapons in its own way. But some people don't like the idea of this weaponized aspect of this technology, and when is it going to benefit us in a way that it doesn't have to be used in a way of just defense, but in a way of where it's going to benefit humanity? When does that time come?
Well, there's also, these craft are not only flying on, they're using technology. Scientists have been studying for years. How come with what we know of physics, how come we can't cancel gravity? And, our scientists, common, mainstream scientists, that's because the version of physics that they've been given just leaves too many holes, and it's not the right version. The universe is a plasma electric torus universe, and when you understand how the electric universe works, then a lot of these things start becoming possible. And right now, even in colleges across the United States and the world, they're teaching an old idea of physics. And not only that, think of when all of this technology comes out, how it's going to pivot our economy. These craft are flying around, they're saying, we can't tell you how they work, it's classified. Well, how are they powered? That's classified. Well, the way that they're powered is going to end the oil and gas industry. I mean, almost overnight. I mean, there have to be a certain amount of years to retrofit technologies and come up with solutions, but that technology will immediately be on its way out.
Well, it's interesting that oil just recently, a month or so ago, was basically obsolete. They couldn't even, they were paying people to pick up the oil per barrel. So there is an interesting factor in how things could change so quickly. And the technology that's about to be revealed, I think, and I think you're agreeing with me, is that some of this technology might not be explained on how it's created, but we're going to benefit from it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we will have a lot of questions, but not immediate benefits. From what I'm told with this protracted disclosure, there'll be magical things flying around. People will be speculating how they work. Scientists will be saying, okay, this shouldn't work with what we know of science. So there'll be just little, scientific leaks, and information will come out, and an understanding will grow. It's going to happen more in a progressed way like that, if, especially with this protracted disclosure that all of the powers that be want.
So Corey, I know over the past couple months you've been juggling a whole bunch of aspects in your life, and some good, and some not so good. But what are we going to be expecting from you in the near future, as far as any projects, more information coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a number of projects. Like I said, our my course, online course, is doing really well, very popular. People are very happy with it. acceleratingascension.com. And then we have some exciting things that I can't really talk about because of other legal stuff going on. But like I said, I have people coming out of the woodworks that, especially in Hollywood and very different business areas, that people are just suddenly reaching out to me, and it's exciting because, like I said, we've gone through years of these attacks and discrediting. It's tore us up, financially. My team, they attacked people, and they, succumbed to all of the attacks. I mean, it's been horrible. And the fact that we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel after we filed the lawsuits and all of the other things started to move, people saw, why would he be going to the authorities? Why would he be filing racketeering lawsuits if he was doing all of the things that people are accusing him of? And it just doesn't make sense or jive, to your normal pragmatic person. So those normal pragmatic people are starting to discount all of this baloney that's been put on the internet about us in this takedown attempt.
Yeah, it's a tough field to be in the knowledge and trying to get it out. It's always a hurdle, and there's always obstacles you got to go through, but you're continuing the fight. Let me ask you before I let you go, in regards to this Navy Pentagon video, Tic Tac, the gimbal, and finally the Pentagon's admitted that these objects are UFOs, and they don't know where they're coming from and what makes them tick. Can you tell me, why do you think, first of all, the TSA editing the video, muting some of the video when they released it? That's one interesting part, where it was edited. But then another interesting part is, why hasn't the Navy released just the entire video and just these clips?
It's a good question. Now, a lot of people in the programs that understand that higher technology that we're using, some of these spacecraft, they're manipulating and warping space-time. So that it's very possible that when that Navy pilot was flying, I don't know if this craft interacted with them or not, I'm just giving you an example. If he was looking at this craft, well, he doesn't know where it came from or when it came from, because some of these, the effects, this weird butterfly type of effect, some of these craft will look like they're in several different places at the same time in the sky because of the way they play with space-time, but also that fragment can happen over time to where there's like a ghost image projected backwards in time, or forward in time even, somewhere in time. They see the video shows like a tic-tac shape, a white tic-tac shape, but that could just be the electric corona that's around the craft. The craft could be some other type of shape. And when they power it up, this electrical corona appears. Sometimes they're spherical, sometimes they're oblong. And a lot of times you'll see a bright light, point of light coming down, and it looks like a sphere, a white sphere, a ball of light. And then it looks like kind of like a bubble pops. And then you see a triangle craft. And then they're using a different type of propulsion, to maneuver after that. But the type of propulsion they use can not only bend space-time around them, but cause these massive electrical coronas.
What's it feel like to be in one of these ships, within the corona, these craft moving at these extraordinary speeds?
Right, in the beginning, they were using special cameras all around the craft to see through these coronas. There was a disconnect. You were inside a craft, and there was you could fly it all around, but you couldn't see where you were going very well. And then after a time, they developed this gravitational lensing type of technology. If there's a star out in space, and or there's a galaxy that you see in space. Well, sometimes you will see what is behind that galaxy when they take images, because the huge gravitational pull is bending, the light. So they have they're not really cameras, but they're like camera systems, imaging systems that they turn on, and from outside the craft in, it's bending time-space into like a lens, a gravitational lens, and they can see outside the craft. They can be in orbit and see on the ground a person walking. They can look at a far, far away location and just zoom in on it. It's amazing technology.
Wow, that's surreal. It would be so bizarre. Everything, time, space, the warp, everything being merged at a time when you're going in a speed that basically defies physics. Let me ask you, Corey, before I let you get going. Things have been getting kind of on an upscale recently, and hopefully things are going to get back to normal. What do you want when things do get back to normal? What are you going to be doing next?
Well, like I said, when things get back to normal, a lot of the court issues are done. I'm going to be launching a lot of these projects. Everything from working on, streaming services of our own platforms, putting out television shows, movies, animations. Our graphic novel, which we had some setbacks on, we have a professional writer who also does script writing, a really good writer that's taking this over. We have people that are pretty big directors in animation that have come in and wanted to help us get this graphic novel completed and out, because they love the story and the information. So, we have a lot of exciting things. We're starting also an events company. We're expanding that, and we're going to start having events around the world, and taking advantage of that time to shoot more and more documentaries, just like Above Majestic and The Cosmic Secret.
We look forward to those. People definitely gravitated to those documentaries, making #1 on Amazon and iTunes and around the world. People want to hear the information.
They have become like cult classics. There is a huge following and a major desire for more of that content. So we're going to provide it.
Well, and we're going to be supplying the original links below, so you can take a look at Corey's projects in the past and where he's going to be going in the future. Corey, be safe out there, and thanks again for joining us on Third Phase Moon. We've got some projects we're going to be working on in regards to the secret space program and the technology behind the Space Force with Corey. So again, you be safe out there, and we'll keep in touch real soon here.
Thank you, and again, I appreciate you having me on.
You got it, Corey, and everybody out there, appreciate you joining us for this incredible interview with Corey Goode. I want to get your comments below. What do you think? What Corey has to say? I'm interested to see what you guys have to say below, and keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. We're not alone. We'll see you again next time.